Federal Star Insurance Group, Roanoke, Virginia, 5034 Hearthstone Road, Northwest. Welcome to the new Wabu Order Podcast. I go by the name of Wabu, and we are back. I got a special guest with me. I know I always say special, but I got a real guest with me, a legend, Bowlegged Lou. What's good, my brother?
Good. I'm doing good, man.
Yeah. I met you, was it about 2-3 weeks ago?
Right.
At the One Soul Food and Funk Fest in Virginia.
Yep.
And that was the first time I seen y'all perform.
Never lose, never choose to cruise, who do something to us. Talk goes to us, girls want to us, wanna do us, screw us, boo us, PA boys and me. Close like Starsky and Hutch, stick and clutch, Jenny squeeze 3, at your cherry, excuse me. Bang.
Okay.
Y'all still got it. Yeah, like y'all was out there moving.
Yeah, man, we still doing our thing. You know, we still work out, you know what I mean? Especially my two brothers, Paul and B Fine. So we still, we stay ready, and we love having, and one of our biggest things, we love interacting with the audience a lot. So you see our show is a very crowd responsive show, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Well then so y'all have a lot of shows every year, or like what's the shows looking like?
Well, we don't have enough, but we have some, here and there, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We have a show August 19th in Rhode Island. Then we have another thing in Dallas. And then we have another thing. Well, I do some hosting as well, without my brothers.
Okay.
I'm hosting a couple of shows. And I'm actually getting honored in LA.
Okay. All right.
Caregiver of the Year Award.
Hold up. What's that about? Caregiver of the Year. What that mean? Like, what are they talking about?
I caregive for my mother.
Okay.
I'm like the primary caregiver of my mom. And like I tell you, that's where I am. I can't come and go as I choose. I gotta always prep stuff, but I do stuff for my mom because she has dementia.
Okay.
And she lives with me here at the house, and I take care of her. And my brothers also, they pitch in. They'll take her to physical therapy. And then I got my daughter and friends and family, because it takes a village. My mom was there for us.
Of course.
And took care of us. So we were turning that situation.
Well, you can't get into paradise without honoring your parents, respecting your parents. According to my belief.
Mm-hmm. So this young lady, a friend of mine that knows my story, and she nominated me with this company called Caregiver Safe Place. That's the name of the organization.
Yes.
A big organization for caregivers, and they're going to award me Caregiver of the Year. So I reluctantly agreed to do it. And why I reluctantly is because it takes a village. So
yes,
I don't look at myself. They look at it Caregiver of the Year because I cannot accept the award without shouting out also my two brothers, my daughter, my cousin, certain friends, people that come around and pitch in and help me with my mom, So I'm accepting it not just on behalf of Bowlegged Lou, because we're all caregivers of the year. And you got so many people all over the world as caregivers of the year. And it's good that they do take care of their mom or take care of their dad. My dad passed away 2 years ago. Oh. And it's good to help and pitch in, because I've heard stories where some families, they have siblings and stuff, and they just don't help or pitch in to help their mother or father. People get amnesia, and you can't do that,
Yeah. And that's sad, because that's sort of like what you're supposed to do. It ain't like, it's just what you're supposed to do. Like you said, she took care of you. She brought you in this world. So it's a must that you repay her back.
That's right.
Because there's nothing you could do for her that can clearly pay her back for bringing you in this world. You get what I'm saying?
That's right.
And that's an honorable thing, my brother.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's get into your career, your musical career. How did y'all start? Y'all started as a group or y'all was solo? Like how?
Well, it was started with the three of us, the three brothers, when we were younger. I mean, we were crazy. I think my brother B-Fine was like 5 years old, something like that. 5, 6, 7, 8. Let me see. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Paul 9. I was 10. But our father heard Paul singing like in the bathroom, and Paul was as a little youngster, and Paul was singing this song by Smokey Robinson called "If You Can Want." And my father, who sang in a lot of groups and was a singer himself, he told my mother, "Hey, honey, listen to this guy sing," talking about Paul.
Yeah.
And he started working with Paul and noticed Paul had a voice. So he kept working with him. And then me, I just got jealous. So I'm like, hey, I want to sing too. So I started singing it. Well, he started working with me and Paul. And B-Fine, he was forced into it because he didn't really give a damn about singing or anything with the group. He just wanted to play, play with his toys and stuff like that. So my father pushed him and forced him. And the three of us started singing together. We're three blood brothers anyway. The same three people, the same three brothers you see in House Party, we're blood brothers.
Yes.
And what happened is that my uncle Cito, may he rest in peace, he's the one that created us as a group. He made us a group. He bought us our first outfit, and he started working with us. And he's the one, it was because of him that we went to the Apollo Theater to do the amateur hour thing, which the Apollo Theater used to have it every Wednesday. Yes. My Uncle Cito took us there. My father came along, but my Uncle Cito took us there. He got us in there, and we won. The first time, I think we won, we was tied for first. Then the second time we came in third place. Then after that, my father took over for my Uncle Cito. Later on, we went back to the Apollo Theater and we won first place for 4 weeks in a row. Because you have to win 4 weeks in a row. And after you win 4 weeks in a row, you appear on the professional show. And we appeared on the professional show at the Apollo Theater with the Whispers, who was doing their first time at the Apollo.
Wow.
The legendary Joe Tex. You got to Google some of these names because I know you must have been like an embryo when a lot of these groups was happening.
Yeah, I wasn't here.
But that happened. After the three of us was performing and stuff like that, my brother B-Fine started hooking up with our cousins in Brooklyn, and B was played the drums. And my cousins, Baby Jerry, Shy, and Kurt, they played guitar, bass guitar, keyboard, and they had like their own little group. And then I came up with the idea. I told my brother Paul, I said, yo, man, Paul, why don't we just join up with B and the guys with the band? Let's just form a whole group and let's see what happens. And that's what happened. And we just started practicing together. We took my cousins to another level, and I came up with the name Full Force. So we was in the neighborhood of Brooklyn as Full Force, always practicing. Some of our people in the neighborhood used to go like, you guys got to get some jobs, man. But a lot of those people that said that, a lot of our friends, once we made it as Full Force, we took like our whole neighborhood on tour with us. Wow. They became our Full Force crew, and they came with us. And as Full Force, we was trying to get a record deal. So my father was working with us, my Uncle Cedar, but then my friend from college, Steve Salem, he saw us perform at this club in Brooklyn, and we killed it because we even back then we was just an explosive act. Yeah. And he was the only white face there. And he said to us, I said, maybe you could work with us, Steve, because he had a good mind. And he did. We couldn't get a record deal. We would do some original stuff. But then he said, hey, guys, listen, y'all can't get a deal. It's hard to get a deal. But I think if you guys produce and write for other people, I think then you'll get a deal of your own. And I was against it because I never heard of an R&B group writing and producing for other acts.
Mhm.
It never happened then, but I was outvoted, and we started writing and producing for other people. The first person we wrote stuff for was Curtis Blow.
Wow.
And Curtis Blow he was on top of his game with Christmas rapping and
Yeah.
these are the breaks. Bring it up, bring it up, bring. I mean, the first rapper to go gold. I mean, but we started doing stuff with Curtis Blow. We was in the studio with him. We must have did like 5 songs with him, not produced, but wrote and performed on. But the biggest record that we performed on with him was Basketball, and we co-wrote that song. They're playing basketball. We love that basketball. Yep, we co-wrote that song for Curtis Blow.
Is the check still rolling in from that song?
Well, yes, yes, publishing for all these songs we've done.
Yeah,
that they still come in because we split everything 6 ways. Even though 1 or 2 people might write a song, it's all going to always say written and produced by Full Force. If 3 people write a song, Full Force. If 1 person write it, Full Force. Wall for one and one for all. And then we're still doing that to this day. And it's like, it's crazy because we wrote so many songs for so many people and produced so many songs for so many people. We lose sight of the things that we've done. I mean,
we wrote for Lisa,
UTFO, started off with Roxanne.
Wow.
And Kango Kid, may he rest in peace. And the educated rapper, may he rest in peace. And after Lisa, we did James Brown. James Brown's last 2 top 10 records, Full Force wrote and produced. Patti LaBelle, B.B. King, the Backstreet Boys, Justin Timberlake, Lil' Kim, Nicki Minaj, Rihanna, Black Eyed Peas. I mean, Montel Jordan, Gerald Levert. I mean,
what y'all wrote for Montel Jordan?
We wrote this song on the soundtrack. I forgot the title. And then we wrote a song that he did that we produced with him called Float On. Remember the joint Float On?
Yeah.
Okay, so Float On, we did a remake of Float On, and we did it with Montel Jordan. Hi, I'm Montel, and I'm a Sagittarius. And then we did it with Montel, Gerald Levert, Kevon Edmonds, and who's the other one? Kevon Edmonds, Montel, Gerald Levert, and Genuine. And we produced the 4 of them doing Float On, which was a dope joint. And the list goes on and on and on, man. And even Jasmine, it's so funny. If you go online, there's this guy named Talk to Pop. Talk and then the number 2 Pop. Talk to Pop. He's a big blogger, and he's on Instagram and all of that stuff. And he did this video thing on us, and so many views and people. Oh
yeah. The one you sent to me, right?
Did you look at it?
Yeah. I sent it out myself. I reposted it. Yeah, that was dope. Yeah, crazy. That was dope.
Yeah,
that was dope. So so y'all wrote all of these songs, right?
Yep.
But was y'all still writing like for the actual group, or y'all now y'all got to this point and say, yo, we like this money. This is behind the scenes money.
No, we still doing Full Force at the same time, man. We still writing and producing for ourselves and coming up with top 10 singles for ourselves as well. So we was doing ourselves along with working with everybody else, even Cheryl Pepsi Riley. I don't know if you remember the song Thanks for My Child, but that was a #1 record that we wrote and produced. We wrote and produced it. Actually, I wrote it, but like I said, even if one person write it, it's going to say written and produced by Full Force. But I wrote that song for Cheryl Pepsi Riley, and it was a #1 smash. And we wrote songs for Samantha Fox on the pop chart. So, it's just Prodigy and B, and just so much stuff. The Brat.
I wrote songs for the Brat.
Yeah, we produced a joint called I Just Want to Be, and is a remix with the Brat and NSYNC, Justin Timberlake. And we did it together, and it's fire, Is
that pop money different?
Definitely different, because the pop money is white money. And I'm like, man, we got to produce some more white people because it's good split, because you split that 6 ways and it's good. It's great.
Yeah.
And pop and that white pop money is like all over the world. And
Yeah.
when we work with the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC and Britney Spears and LFO, it's incredible. It's just a whole nother
Yeah.
world, you know? Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I knew y'all were big writers. I didn't know it was that extensive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the list goes on and on. And y'all
Yeah.
actually discovered Nicki Minaj, correct?
Yeah, we discovered her early in her career. What happened is a very dear friend of mine is named Neil Grant in the neighborhood of Brooklyn. He's the one that told me about her because he was hearing about her in the studio. Yo, Lou, man, you got to hear this girl, Nicki Minaj. And I went to the studio and she was dope. And I'm like, yo, her voice was so dope that I turned her on to I went to my son because my son was putting together a rap group and he always wanted a female in his crew. And I said, yo, you got to hear this girl, Nicki.
Oh, so you brought her to your son. I thought he brought her to you.
No. I brought her to him. Nicki, I was the first one
and the
to
name
meet
of the group
Nicki.
was Hood Stars, right?
Hood Stars, yep.
Yes.
And I brought Nicki to him. And at that time, Safari was my son's best friend at the time too. So brought Nicki to them. And he met with Nicki and they formed the Hood Stars. He's the one that formed their group together. And we worked with the Hood Stars and they was doing shows all over the place, but she was really learning a lot by working with the guys. And after that, we did some stuff on Nicki's solo. And her first big mixtape joint her song was called The Autobiography, which we produced. And we put that together with Nicki in the studio. And it was dope. So we ignited everything. We split amicably, which means we split, when we left because nobody was signing girl rappers at the time. And we took it to everybody from 50 Cent to G Unit to Jay-Z. I mean, everybody. And they didn't hear it. But and then when we parted ways, I said, yo, Nicki, you should try going on MySpace and putting your music on MySpace, because that's what people are doing these days.
Yeah.
And she took my advice and she did that. And then she was discovered by, I forgot the brother. He did a lot of
Fendi.
mixtape. Fendi, right.
Big Fendi.
He did mixtape DVDs.
Yeah, the Come Up DVD.
Come Up DVDs. And he got Nicki, and he's the one that changed Nicki's name to Minaj.
Yes.
Which Nicki was against, but she did it. And then after that, what's her name? Damn. Another woman came in, and Debbie Anthony, and she took Nicki.
Yeah. Okay.
And
that's Waka Flocka's mother.
Right. And took her to the next level where Nicki got discovered by Lil Wayne. And the rest is history.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So all right, when she was in the Hood Stars and all that, are they still together though? No, but obviously they're not together, the Hood Stars.
No,
So your son, he's still doing music though?
Yeah, he still does music, not as much as he used to, but he still does it. He's still a talented guy, talented writer and everything like that. And him, Nicki, Safari, and 7up, they all learn from each other, Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Now let's take a step back a little bit. You had Bought It Up, of course, House Party.
Okay.
I think that's them roles y'all played in the House Party will make y'all forever legends.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously y'all did a lot in the music world, but to most people that kind of trumps even that. And the roles wasn't huge roles, but y'all just made it so big, right? Little kids still watch that and see that. The thing y'all say is that's one of my slogans, you run around town like a in heat. Me and my boys can't be beat. That's how did how did y'all get that role first off?
Okay, so here's the deal. And man, excuse me for all your viewers. I'm up here eating shit. and drinking
that's
shit.
all good.
But I'm a
So
little
good.
hungry, but it's real. This is real life here.
Yeah,
That's why I
definitely.
told y'all about my moms and all of that stuff. So it's all good.
Yeah.
I'm a real person. So it's like, damn, Bowlegged Lou's rude and shit. But it's all good.
Yeah.
well, now I don't know. I wouldn't say those roles trumped our music, but it's an iconic movie.
Yes.
Never knew that House Party would become a classic 32 years later.
Mm.
And it still plays good to this day. In
That's
other
a
words,
fact.
you look at it and you can't say the movie's the stuff in it is like played out or dated, because people still watching it. BET and VH1 still plays that shit every year, all kinds of months.
Yeah.
And now it's on Netflix, so people still watch it. We didn't know it was going to be legendary and classic. And I didn't know 32 years later, I'd still be saying, I'm going to kick your fucking ass. So,
Yeah.
so the way that came to be was we had some producing partners when we started out, Robert Ford and JB Moore. And they were the ones that was working with Curtis Blow. When Full Force got their record deal, we made them part of the deal just by, because we saying thank you. So that we work in the studio together. And they worked with some of our Full Force albums. We produced the other artists. So Robert Ford is a good friend with Reggie Hudlin. Reggie Hudlin, he directed and wrote House Party. It was his concept. And he had a script, and Robert read the script. And in the script, it described us. So he didn't cast nobody yet, but he described us in the script. He said, because Kid and Play didn't even have their parts yet, but he said, two guys, they get accosted and bullied by three bullies with jerry curls and great physiques. Somebody like Full Force.
Wow.
That
and that's
was
in the script.
That was just, they described this in the script. So Robert goes to Reggie, yo, Reggie, why don't you just get Full Force? And he's like, wow, do you know them? And he says, yes, we used to produce with them. And they gave him Paul's number. Reggie called Paul and told him all about it. They're big fans as well. And see, my brothers, they was in Crush Groove. They was only in two scenes of Crush Groove, but this scene stood out because there was Beat and Blair and Beat and Run. And after that, they just wanted to see our chemistry together. So the Hudlin brothers invited us down to their office. The three of us went there and we did improvisations amongst each other. And they saw we had chemistry. So they said, and they hired us right there in the spot. We got casted. And it was the three of us. But so we all went to LA to do the table read, which it means that, or the script. So that means when you're reading the script and you're doing a table read, all the actors are around the table reading their parts. So you had Martin Lawrence, Robin Harris, may he rest in peace, John Witherspoon, may he rest in peace, Tisha Campbell, AJ Johnson, Kid and Play, and the three of us, the Full Force brothers. And that's another thing. I'm always correcting people because even though on the screen, I mean, in hindsight now, if I would have knew back then, I would have had them put brothers underneath, but it said Full Force. And really, Full Force is 6 members.
Yes.
3 brothers are the Full Force brothers. But
and
Full
3
Force
cousins.
is six, right, and 3 cousins. But Full Force still get represented because we wrote and produced and performed the big record from House Party, which is Ain't My Type of Hype.
Yes.
Which is a dance battle song, which is a huge record for us. And that's our biggest Full Force record for Full Force ever. So what happened is that after that table read of the script, and we read our parts, when we went back to the hotel, I told my brothers, I said, yo, guys, our parts is kind of it's kind of dry. And I said, what do you mean? I said, we're bullies in the movie, but according to the script, we're like bullies with no personality. Because basically it was like nothing in there. It was like we were just bullies and enforcers, you know what I mean? So
they had y'all saying like corny stuff like, what you doing, chump? Like stuff like that. Move over, jive turkey, like stuff like that. You had to put some flavor in there.
No, not like that, but just dry stuff. And some scenes didn't really have much to say. We were just there as a presence, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So why I told my brothers, was in the movie, Reggie had, my character's name originally was Zilla. Brian's character was Pee-wee. And Paul's character was Stab. So Paul always had the right character name. I told Brian, B-Fine, I said, B-Fine, let's change because I'm smaller than both of y'all. So I'll be Pee-wee and you be Zilla. Yeah. And in the movie, let's change up our scene. I said, let's change up our first scene and we'll show it to the Hudlin brothers. If they don't like what we changed it up, then we just go back to the regular corny shit they had to begin with. But if they like it, we're dope. So I even told my brother, I said, now listen, I'm Pee-wee, and I'm going to talk like this throughout the whole movie. So my brother B is like, yo, don't fucking talk like that, man. That's not no bully. I said, no, I'm going to do that. Now, I did that purposely because I once saw Lethal Weapon Part 2 with Chris Rock and Joe Pesci. And Joe Pesci played this character where he kept going, okay. Yeah. Okay. So that was like a little hook.
Now that was Lethal Weapon 4.
Lethal Weapon 4, right?
Yeah.
So that was a hook. So I said, let me do something as my hook. So I came up with, I'm gonna kick your fucking ass. You know, not I'm gonna kick your ass. I'm gonna kick your ass. Yeah. And I said, and let me say that a couple of times in the movies, guys, and it might catch on. So at first my brothers was like, man, that's kind of corny. I said, well, let's try it. And then I came up also with, y'all smell something? I smell pussy. I came up with that because that's something I used to say in the studio. Like we could be in the studio and we see the cameras of who's coming in and say Patti LaBelle is walking in or Samantha Fox is coming in or Lisa. Anytime I see a girl, I'm like, oh, guys, look who's coming in. It's Patty. So I go, yo, guys, I smell something. You smell? And then baby Jerry's like, yo, don't say it. I smell. And right before they open the door, I smell pussy. Then they open the door.
Wow.
And then they walk in. So Patty or Samantha or LaToya Jackson. But that's something I used to do, and it'd be hilarious.
Wow.
Do that in the movie. So now we made one of the scenes that Reggie did, we changed it around. I first started changing shit. I said, okay, let's perform this for Reggie in the trailer. If you don't like it, we go back. If they like, so we changed up his whole shit. We did the I smell pussy in there. I'm gonna kick your fucking ass in there in the scene. And then Warrington Hudlin, Reggie's brother, as soon as he saw it, and they loved it, he said, keep it. Wow. And we kept it. And that was the rest is history, because after that, we changed up every scene in the movie. Like everything you see in the movie, we wrote, we did it. Wow. You know, I initiated like the scene you run around town like a sucker in heat. I mean, it's originally said like a faggot in heat, but we always changed it to sucker whenever we do it live in front of people. Yeah. And this was before the LGBT, all that stuff. That was just us. Yeah. But he made that up. So we was just making up shit. And the Hudlin brothers always let it stay. The stuff in the Jeep, made all of that shit up, you know. Yeah. You know, I was about to wax that ass. He must have a mental block or something. You know, hit it in the socket, punk motherfucking name kid. We made up all of that shit. Shit in the lunchroom. Oh, he's wrinkling my school clothes. Made up all of that shit. And the Hudlin brothers let us do his thing. The kid in place started to find out that, oh shit, they made up that shit. because they was sticking to their lines.
Oh, so they started improvising and doing their own thing once they figured that out.
Once they saw us do our shit, then they started doing a few things. Not much. They stuck to the script a lot. But one thing they made up, and they asked us first, he says, yo, guys, what about when y'all come to the door for the party and when y'all say, you know, I smell pussy. What about if we turned around to y'all and said, yeah, we would smell like pussy to a bunch of dicks. And then I said, yo, that's funny, man. Let's just do it. He said, yeah, we'll ask Reggie. No, I said, don't ask him shit. Let's just do it.
Mm.
And like, we're taking over shit already. It's so crazy. So we did it, and the Hudlin brothers loved it. And
wow.
but we started first making up our own shit, you know. So, and then the movie went on to become a classic and huge, and it's still a classic to this day. That's why that thing that Talk to Pop put out on his Instagram and his social media, where it says, did you know that the House Party Bullies produced the Backstreet Boys' biggest hit? So people looking at that shit, they're like, what the hell?
Yeah, like how can that relate? Like, yeah. I always wanted to ask you though, why y'all wasn't at House Party 3?
Well, the money wasn't right, so we just didn't do it. Martin Lawrence didn't do it either.
Yeah, he didn't.
And House Party 2, the Pajama Jammy Jam, we did it.
Yeah.
But we weren't happy when we did it. But we did it. We were so happy when that shit finished because we thought it was kind of corny. And it wasn't Reggie.
What changed though to make it? It had the potential to be great because they went off to college. Y'all was doing security there. Y'all had grandma right there, digging in your ass. Y'all just like, but what made it? It was still good to me.
It was okay.
Because I'm just a huge fan like that. But it was certain parts that was super cheesy. They had a good cast there, but like it just didn't click like that. Why?
Yeah, but it wasn't like the original House Party. And why is because it wasn't the same director. The Hudlin brothers didn't direct it. They didn't write it. It was two guys, George Jackson and Doug McHenry. They came on board and they did it. And, you know, God rest George Jackson's soul, but they did their thing. And listen, we still made up some parts in the House Party too, but it just didn't click though. But we made up parts in there as well.
I would have loved to see y'all in 3 though. Who directed 3, they kind of redeemed themselves from.